This is the Nerdy Romantics Podcast, and I'm your host, Y.M. Nelson.
So you gave us a little teaser and said there's something next. So
Yes.
What is next for Jason and Fortune in this world? And are you gonna do something with their friends as well? And just have it be like a whole world building situation, romance situation with them as well.
Well, what's next is the accidental proposal. So we kind of know what's going to happen there a little bit.
But it's gonna be shenanigans.
It will be shenanigans, that's for sure. But we'll see what beta readers think. But as far as what I think about it, I think this one is kind of fun and light. The next one is not going to be as fun and light. It's going to have some fun moments, but it's going to have some not fun moments. And partly it's because I was in a not fun headspace when I wrote that. Well, the world was in a not fun headspace, and I wanted to speak out. As much as I would say this is Fortune's book, obviously.
Yeah.
The next book is definitely going to be Jason's book, so it's going to be more from his perspective.
Yeah.
And as we know, this is an interracial relationship.
Yes.
And there's one thing that I think, how should I say this? I read a lot of interracial romance, but a lot of interracial romance doesn't necessarily talk about race.
Yeah, they
and
gloss
about
over it. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this one is going to talk about race. I didn't want to write this book. I'll say it that this whole book was hard to write. I didn't want to write a book that focused on race like this, even though it's a romance book, but it felt like, and I still feel like, it's a book that's kind of needed in this space.
Yeah.
Because of what you just said. A lot of interracial romance kind of glosses over the racial part.
They
I'm like,
they either gloss over it or fetishize it. It's either or. You know what I'm saying? Like, or there's no discussion at all. There's like no discussion at all.
Exactly.
Or they fetishize it. And I would much rather have somebody take on the discussion head on and say these are the ways we can move through it.
Yeah.
Or this is how we're gonna stand up against it versus not doing anything about it or fetishizing it and say, "Oh, you're my beautiful black queen." Stop. No, I don't want to read that. I don't want to read it.
Exactly. And it's, and to me, I mean, I'm a Black woman in the South.
Yes.
Hello? As much as we don't talk about race, we do talk about race in the spaces where we don't talk about race. So even in those quiet spaces, it's there. It is everywhere. And there's no way that you can get into a relationship, an interracial relationship, and not discuss it, especially considering that your hero has the friends that he has. Now, we've already met his friends.
Yes. And you've definitely laid the groundwork for that. And she brings it up like, are they staring? She says there are moments where she's like, well, are they staring? We're in Charlotte, because it's set in Charlotte. Are they staring at us because we're an interracial couple? Are they staring at us because we're big? She don't know what they staring at her for.
Right. Right. Exactly.
But that's real, because you don't know what people are looking at you for if you're in an interracial relationship and you plus size. You don't know what they're looking at. Like, it's a combination of all of it, really. Why people are staring at you and staring at you as a couple walking down the street holding hands.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's like, what's going through your mind, and should I have my guard up, or should I be okay with it, or what? Because you really don't know, and especially as volatile as American society is right now with this, when
Yeah.
it shouldn't be. It's so weird. We're at this place where we've made a lot of progress, where an interracial couple can walk down the street and it not be, against the law,
Yes,
as it
against the law.
was just a few short years ago. It was.
Hello. Yeah.
But at the same time, people's mindset hasn't gotten past that time yet,
Right.
or not everybody's mindset has gotten past that time yet. So that's kind of the next book, and I foresee this being a trilogy,
Okay.
um with Jason and Fortune, but I do see a couple of side stories. They just kind of haven't been formed in my mind yet. And two, I want to see what readers think, who they want to
So it's gonna be an
see get
accidental
together.
baby. The third book, the accidental baby.
Yeah, and actually, yeah. So actually, the third book is called "The On Purpose Wedding."
Oh, okay.
Um, but I haven't finished like plotting that one yet, so I
Yeah.
don't really exactly know where that goes, and it's in very beginning stages. So who
Yeah.
knows what could happen there?
Hi, what a great episode. Want to get show notes from this and future episodes in your inbox? Then subscribe to Nerdy Romantics newsletter at nerdyromanticspodcast.com/subscribe. Nerdy Romantics newsletter not only has show notes, but nerdy and romantic recommendations and sneak peeks and first looks from my books. And while you're listening or watching, don't forget to like and subscribe to your podcast provider so you can get episodes as soon as they drop. Thanks for listening and for watching. Stardate, not too distant future. Brandon is a die-hard Trekkie. He's watched every Star Trek franchise episode multiple times. He has several cosplay and collectible uniforms in his closet. Commander Will Riker is his favorite cosplay character, and he's been to dozens of conventions. But he's never met or gotten in a fight with another Trekkie like Phoenix. Phoenix is looking forward to her first Star Trek convention until she meets Brandon. He's nothing like the Riker character she loves to hate. He's combative, socially awkward, and off-putting. But he's so adorable. Phoenix and Brandon keep running into each other, each time more heated than the next. With 3 days of convention to get through, will they get past the hostility and find what they know is there? Attraction and perhaps love? This is the premise of Stardate, a free e-story for my newsletter subscribers, available on February 1st. If you like Trekkie romance, romantic comedy, or just like to see a little grumpy sunshine trope, this story is for you. Go to ymnelson.com/subscribe and get your free copy.